TikTok. First of all, let's talk about this. Instagram already has paywall content. All of these, Twitter has paywall content now, right, too? Twitter Blue and everything. Everyone's getting in on the paywalled premium content. It's not just OnlyFans anymore, ladies and gentlemen. You can now get premium content on TikTok, and they're saying that this is going to be available, right, just from some of the biggest creators.
Yeah, so they're soft launching it initially. It's just some creators, they're going to contact them. Eventually, more will be able to apply for this.
Yes.
And, you know, I don't fancy myself an economist, but I do believe that the influencer industry and job market is fascinating and worth taking note of. Yeah. So it means that popular content creators who have access to this will be able to put certain content behind a paywall. It still has to comply with like the TikTok guidelines.
Yeah.
You know, there are things that are not allowed to do, but it'll still go through screenings. But it also can be up to 20 minutes, which is much longer than anything else on
So
TikTok.
you're actually paying for the length to be able to make longer videos.
Well,
too.
they're not paying for it,
But
subscribers would be paying.
Which makes sense if you want, like, if you're paying for it, you'd want longer content anyways.
And there are some influencers who operate in the ecosystem of social media platforms, right? And you see it a little bit with like this podcast, right? Like this podcast has an Instagram, has a Twitter, and mostly it's YouTube based. You can listen to it. That's because it's really putting out a product. But as an influencer, some influencers are big on one platform, then they have followings on Instagram and maybe Twitter, or in this day and age, TikTok, where they also can, when brands approach them, say, okay, I will, if you pay me $10,000, I'll put a permanent post on my Instagram feed and I'll shout you out on TikTok. And that's what our deal is.
A lot of influencers, like if you look in their bios, it lists like what their numbers are on other platforms, right? So it's like 450K on this,
1.2 on YouTube,
million on TikTok, 450K on YouTube,
and
or something like that.
It's part of their way of attracting brands to work with, because that's how influencers make their money. And so this idea that they would then be able to just continue making content and also make money more directly just posting on Instagram. They don't need the brand to pay them for a TikTok post. They just need TikTok to say, you get a percentage of this subscriber count. It means TikTok is making more revenue off that. I find this really fascinating. I think that this ecosystem of the growing influencer industry, because I think it was last year, there was this poll where Gen Z, a high proportion of them say their dream career is to be an influencer.
Way more than just about, like, nobody wants to be astronauts anymore.
Well, no one wants to be astronauts. Also, this career did not really even exist 10 years ago. Yeah. Instagram launched in 2013. Yep. So in the past decade, this idea that you can I am almost completely, Britt's giving me this look like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's like 2013, 2012 Instagram launched and took the world by storm, so much so that we have an entire career that you can be if you know how to analyze, how to use these things correctly. And then of course, Instagram has Reels. Reels is its video sharing thing, so to directly compete with the disruptive nature of TikTok.
It's weird because my social, like mine, my Instagram seems to have been like hit like a weird, I don't know if it's shadow ban, but like my content has like dropped. Like view count has dropped heavily and like hit a wall like very quickly. Like after I noticed it a couple months ago.
Well, and do you make, this sounds weird and I don't know if there's actually a difference, but like, do you post videos to Instagram or do you make reels? Like,
no, I make reels.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay,
I post skating reels. It's like, and my numbers stayed consistent for well over. I mean, it grew steadily before I came to work here because I was skating street every day. I was going out and making different.
And you were posting every day. And all of these algorithms reward that type of consistency.
When I came out here, I was working more, like, or at least I was working the same amount at home.
Working differently.
I was working differently. So I just stopped posting every day. But only in the last month has my view count really plummeted, and I can't really put a finger on why.
That's interesting.
Like, because like, originally I would have said it had to do with the fact that I'm just posting a lot of clips in the same place, meaning that I'm posting a lot of the same obstacles that I'm skating, mainly because I just skate to have fun. It's literally just exercise after work.
Yeah.
But skating is one of those things, like skating is very much a subculture. It's part of who you are.
Yeah.
So like the people that follow me on Twitter follow me because of this show.
Yeah.
I only really talk about movies and television there.
That's kind of how my Twitter
Anytime
works,
I post any skating things there, people make fun of it, or or like, oh, I didn't know people still do that. But people that follow me on Instagram, which is where I have far more followers on, follow me strictly because of skating. Very few people that follow me on there really follow me on the show. Like some do, but not all.
Yeah, my Twitter is like basically all work and like news related, and that's partially because I only got Twitter. I didn't even post just to see when news was breaking to keep up with it. And my Instagram was my personal Instagram that I then publicly mentioned that I have. I feel as though I should mention
The fake one.
yes,
The fake
that,
one.
My not very interesting Instagram, someone completely copied it, like all of my photos,
So
all of my
creepy.
captions, and then posted them on March 1st, posted all of them. So I had to report it. I reported it a couple of days ago, and Instagram is like, we're still thinking about it. So I'm HannahClaire.b on Instagram.
Not 2Bs.
Do not follow HannahClaire.bb. That's not me. That's not real. If you get a DM from this person, as
It's
I
not
found
you.
out, it's not me. Don't interact with it. Block, report, all that stuff. Instagram, could you please help someone out here? Like,
And they're not helping you.
I'm just like in a whole. I don't know if it's because it was like I figured it out over the weekend.
Yeah.
But and so they're like, we're taking the day off, so we'll get back to you. Like, I don't know if they'll deal with it today, but they haven't taken it down, which I don't love. I'm gonna post on Instagram just to be like, by the way, this isn't this account is not
I think
me.
the same thing's been happening to James Lindsay recently.
So
he said
weird.
like that's been happening to him. I expect more of that to happen to women.
I just don't get it because I'm not that interesting, but like one of my friends who's like not political at all, just has like a lively Instagram life. She got copied pretty intensely, and Instagram took forever to take it down.
I get a question. This is a little bit of an
It
aside.
just seems weird.
Do you feel that for most of us here, whether it's because of where we work and what we follow on social media algorithmically, that people at their own peril don't realize they're also in their own bubble? Like, there are plenty of people here, like in the world, that are just blissfully ignorant of the stuff that's going on in the world.
Yeah. I don't think that's true of just our office, right? Like if you
No, I'm just saying, like, do you think that maybe we feel like we're immune to the fact that we're in our own bubble of sorts? Like,
because we feel like we're being active.
because you feel like you're being active and you feel like you're actually fighting against the bubble. But in
Yeah.
a way, it's like you get in your own negativity bubble. Like a lot, like it's all bad. It's all failing. It's all going bad. Everything's woke. Everything's this. Everything that's. It's a liberal leftist nightmare in America. And everything's falling apart.
Yeah.
And then I have friends who are extremely apolitical, or at the very least just don't care. And yeah, life is more expensive, but they don't. Like, either they don't know it or it hasn't hit them.
Yeah.
But it feels like doomerism befalls
I will
us
say
as well.
I think it's easy to become negative, especially if you're reading all news right now, and like the banks are failing, and like we're giving tons of money to Ukraine, and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's very easy to be consumed by negativity, and I found that like I had to be disciplined about turning off social media,
Absolutely.
and also looking for the things that were good. So it's one of the reasons I'm extremely grateful for my friends who, they have their own political interests, but just generally I know them because we're friends. So when they get engaged, or they have a baby, or they buy a house, or they just have a cool vacation or whatever, like I get to interact with them and hear about that and hear about just nice things that are going on. Like, of course, it's way more expensive. You should be engaged with what's going on in the world, but also seeing the small victories in day-to-day life puts things into perspective. I feel like one time I was on IRL. I had done like a stint where I was on every day for a week, and this mom messaged me to say like, hi, like you probably get like a lot of DMs on Twitter, and like it's not that I get a lot, it's just that like some of them I don't really want to read, so I don't check
Understandable.
it that often. And she was like, but I just want to let you know that my 2-year-old gets so excited every time you're on screen. She like will point at the screen and go, where's that lady? And when you're not on screen, she's like, where's that lady? And she'll go, there's that lady when I come back on.
She sees Phil and she goes, no.
I don't know how.
No, Phil.
Maybe she doesn't care anymore, but like reading that was so nice. And it's not because I'm like, oh yes, I'm so important. It's because like, here's this sweet child who's just bopping along, and like I get to, in this really indirect way, like entertain her, and that's positive, right? And I think with TikTok, sorry to awkwardly divert back to this, I think TikTok is addictive, and so you'll see things
Absolutely.
where people start to have, if they are, social media algorithms can pick up on your moves. So if you're scared of what's going on in the world, it'll feed you terror content. If you are excited about something, it will try and feed you that, but also especially if they can make you buy something.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, and Instagram is great at getting you to buy stuff. I've never done it, but apparently Instagram sells tons of crap in their.
Because they launched a specific shopping feature.
I've never used it, but apparently that does very, very well.
I have never bought anything directly through Instagram, but its ads are scary good.
Oh, yeah.
It is terrifying. And I'm pretty weird about my Instagram. Like I tried to throw it off on occasion.
I went on a weird rant with Andy and Lydia once where I was like, I was complaining about like an Advil ad that had like two fat women playing tennis. And I said, the statistical chances of this happening are so low.
And Advil is like, here's our regular Advil.
Yes. And Andy's like, you're getting targeted Advil ads.
Because you're getting older and you skate a lot.
Yeah.
Instagram is like, look, buddy, you may need this, which is a little rude, but
like,
maybe not totally inaccurate.
It was like the body positivity movement has gone too far. There are not two fat old women playing tennis together.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, but Advil? Maybe I need to buy some. I think really, so TikTok is facing a lot of bans in the US, in Europe. There are lots of places trying to restrict it. It's restricted in a lot of states. We're considering banning it outright in the US. Similar bans are in effect in Belgium and in Spain and things like that. So Instagram is now saying, like, if I am an influencer and my biggest platform is TikTok, and now I have this series feature where I can make money, the US government is now attacking my livelihood.
Yeah, they're going to get rid of your livelihood.
Right. And so in addition to fighting the addiction that people have to social media, both through fear and through just general dopamine hits, we are also now fighting people who are saying, if you take away TikTok, you're taking away potentially my biggest form of revenue.
I actually had to do that in a way. When I, back before I came to work here, so I was posting every day, skating clips every day. But I also launched a Patreon, right? So what you have to do is you have to use the Instagram, which is where the majority of your viewership comes from, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to push them to the Patreon to try to get them to subscribe there. I was using it mainly as a way to I quit all my sponsors like 10 years ago.
Okay.
And just didn't want to ride for companies. As soon as it became work, it wasn't fun. I mean, not as soon as it was, but like at a certain point after skating, like I started skating for companies in like 2005, like right when I graduated high school. And basically skating was always in a way work. And a lot of that was social media. Like it became social media. Like I used to post clips to YouTube and people would like make fun of me and say like, why would you do that?
Oh, but you were ahead of your time.
Yeah. Everybody else was saying you need to make, it has to be for like filmed videos and everything like that. And we were still making those as well too. Mm-hmm. But I was like, look, in a decade, DVDs are going to be gone. Nobody's going to be using them anymore.
And eventually, you're so space age, Brett.
And then eventually, so then everybody moves to YouTube, and I was like, why aren't these people like? So the sponsors have all the power. Mm-hmm. All of the sponsors can give you no money, can just give you free product, and you get nothing in return other than exposure and equipment. Yeah. But nobody, like they're not making enough to justify paying anyone else enough to make a living. But that's not the world we live in anymore.
Yeah,
that sucks for them. But the creator economy means that more of these people should be switching to Patreon or Subscribestar. And I was trying to get people to do it, and they're like, I don't know, like why would people? I'm like, dude, think like you can make any type of content you want. It doesn't have to just be this type of skating. You can do whatever you want there. And they had such a hard time moving over there. But part of it for me was like you have to get rid of the need for the dopamine hit of posting the same thing on a different thing on Instagram every day.
Well, and I assume companies probably with do you want to finish?
No, go ahead.
I assume companies think about this strategically, right? Like if you have an advertising budget of $10,000 and you could spend $10,000 on one influencer, but you could spend $5,000 on a lower tier one and then spend a breakdown of that sending free products to even smaller influencers. And so some of them will promote your products for free because they are excited to have products to talk about. It helps them. It makes them seem like they are more prestigious. They're on PR lists. There is like this is a whole network of marketing that has developed over the last 10 years, which is how to make the most social impressions. And so with skateboarding, I assume it's similar. Like, when they pay for your board and they're like I'm so bad at this, but with like NASCAR and they have the logo on the top, like you associate that brand with this driver, and maybe that's good.
Well, that's the whole point. Right. Here's the funny thing. You know who's coming out the best in all this?
Who?
Females.
Yeah, of course. Women dominated industry.
Women in skating who like it's really funny. Like women
also with influencing. I think
that's what I mean. Like okay, so
too.
Female skaters who are good, but they're not at the same skill level as their male counterparts have 3 times the following because they're young and beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's
wasn't that like gymnast the top Instagram athlete in the world? I don't remember. She's college age.
Gabby Butler?
Maybe. I don't remember.
The one from
I know that
Cheer?
she was so popular that like people were showing up at her arena and she had to do a post up being like, please stop showing up here. Like it's not safe or something. She's like a blonde gymnast.
Oh no, the like
with like several million followers on like each platform.
My guilty pleasure on Instagram is stunt cheerleading.
You've told me that before.
I love watching
because it's cool.
Those women are crazy. Like the stuff that they get. Like when you watch the falls, like when they get missed and then caught. Like it's not like it's a fun way down, right? Like there's a spotter there to catch you, but he's still like catching you by grabbing you by the neck so that you don't fall.
Inches before you hit the ground.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I can't imagine that like trust exercise.
But those ladies are those are some of the craziest people in the world. But that like Gabby Butler has like 2 million followers on Instagram or something like that. And a lot of those people got a lot of them got brand deals in college, like NIL, like name, image, likeness deals and stuff like that. But like, I think a lot more of these, like social media, TikTok, Instagram, it's never been a better time to have a unique skill set and a creative mind.
Do you know what my favorite thing? I didn't watch it on TikTok, but so like a lot of TikToks get reposted to Reels and I don't access TikTok.
Well, me and you are older, so we watch
also like the spyware.
Yeah,
and
we don't want the Chinese spyware.
Not to sound like a boomer politician, but I actually believe all of that. Yeah. But there was this one girl. She never showed her face. She would have a mask on when she talked about it. And for every day of the year, she crocheted one line of a blanket that was the average of the high and low temperatures of the city she lived in. And I watched that girl's content like there was no tomorrow. I was hooked. It would just show up randomly, and then I started like going to her account to seek it out.
To look
and then
for
it was like, it's week 37, it's week 42, it's week 49. And I was like, we're getting towards the end.
It's incredible.
And it looked beautiful, and I can't crochet, but I like embroidery. Like it's sort of in the like realm of things I could be interested in as, an Elizabethan grandmother. But like, I don't know. It was addictive, and that's all she did. And I don't think she had any sponsored content. I think she had several 100,000 followers watching this blanket. And then she announced like, I'm not going to do it next year. Like
she's whatever.
And I was just like, this girl I have to check it every day because it was cool and it's science and whatever else. Unique skill sets. If you know how to make something
you still have to be able to make the videos and like
sure,
this.
And she was cutting it and there were camera angles and she was consistent. That was the thing. She put it up every single day. I think that it's not, I think wanting to be an influencer can come from a vapid place, right? But there are people who are genuinely interested in reviewing products and saying like, this is good or this is bad. It's the same way we got like Angie's List, right? That thing where you can go on, like there was a way of looking to verify services.
My favorite, this is going to make me old too. My favorite person to follow is like, I look for normies. The more normie, the better. Because like this world that we live in here, highly politicized, highly this, highly that. Even this job, which is like pop culture crisis, isn't necessarily inherently politically. I mean, the political aspects come into it because of how much of it connects to these industries. So when I have the people that I follow are joyously disconnected from that.
Well, part of it is because you're a human being. Like you're well-rounded and you have interests outside your job.
But like I'm talking like normie. Like Sheena Melwani's just a singer who like she's a mom. And like she does videos with her husband and their kids, and it's just joyously apolitical. In fact, she made a post on International Women's Day that got a little bit feministy for my liking.
How could you do this to me?
I'm like,
question mark.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm not in the mood for it today, lady. This is a commie holiday, anyways. I don't want to hear it.
You take that right out of here and give me an oatmeal cookie recipe.
And it's funny too because it's very democratic, meaning like. For her, like she has like a charisma about her that can't be taught. Like you can't make yourself that likable. Nope. You have to be that likable.
Some people just have that X factor.
And I appreciate that. Like, and it's for her turned into a successful, independently done singing career that means she doesn't need a record label. Yeah. She can self-produce all her stuff now. Yeah. So we are moving more and more towards a creator economy, and this thing for TikTok is just going to be more of that.
But like I said, it's
all going to be banned anyway.
Well, and I bet it's because then TikTok can say, creators, look, the U.S. economy, if Biden looks like he's going to sign this bill banning TikTok, which should tell you how serious this is if Joe Biden has gotten on board. Not to be too obvious about how I feel about him. But they're going to say he's attacking your livelihood. Yeah. And the thing is, there isn't an equivalent as far as I know. I think YouTube has some subscription-based stuff. Instagram doesn't really have this paywall type feature. I mean, really, you'd have
No, Instagram has subscriptions now.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram has subscriptions, badges. You can monetize your reels.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I could
Mark
set up.
Zuckerberg is like, ban TikTok. Do it now.
Do it now. Like no, all of them are getting in on that. I mean, YouTube has the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube has members. Members chat and everything like that.
I just think that like it tells you that we've peaked past this like initial interest in what influencers is. Like now that people are learning how to make money off it, there's like another tier of how to make money off of it. And I never think this will go away. I just think it'll evolve with the platforms as they rise and fall in popularity.
Where do you think it goes?
Well, I think you see this. Emma Chamberlain is that YouTuber who's like a young girl, and I know she started her own coffee brand. Like she has several million, and also like she hosts the Met Gala's red carpet show, right, or whatever.
So
it
she's
is.
crossed.
So
she's
people start
crossed
to
over.
cross over.
Yeah.
But also you see like Paris Hilton, who was a reality TV show star, cross into influencing. I mean, it's one of the things that the Kardashians are famous for, which is like they were early in the we are influencer market. Like, yeah, they tried to put out some albums and do whatever, but also they had like a credit card. They had lines with
credit
Kohl's.
card.
I'm not kidding. They had all kinds of merchandise that they were like, if you're a fan, you'll buy this. And that's one of the reasons that they have such strong social media platforms is they started early and made it so that you had to follow them there to know what was going on with them.
The other one that I want to, do you remember a couple weeks ago? It was big in conservative circles where it was the video of the girl dancing in like the Sam's Club.
Oh yeah, and like people are walking by and everyone's like, what's going on?
That is one of like 5 non-skating accounts that I follow. That girl. Her name's Enola Beddard. She now has 2 million subscribers, followers on Instagram. She's over 1 million on YouTube, and she's a dancer. She now choreographs for like Shania Twain.
Did she put out that video that was like, because the video, it wasn't her dancing in the store. It was the
No,
video.
it was her. That was her.
No. It was the video of someone recording her dancing in the store.
That was her mom that recorded it.
Okay, but who recorded her mom?
I have no idea who did it.
Did she bring her dad and say, you record mom?
No,
And
no,
that way
no.
this was
Somebody
about-
else recorded
so
it.
it just
It was like-
organically went viral and then people found her.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And she reenacted that. Like what she did, she reenacted that. She flew her mom to LA to reenact that video on Sunset Boulevard or on the Hollywood
So
Walk of Fame. And all her videos get hundreds of millions of views. And look, people can laugh at that stuff all they want and be like, oh my God,
She's
it's
making
the end
money.
times.
Like,
she's making all that is your capitalist economy.
That's my thing. Like, I could never be a dancing TikTok star. It's just, I hate to disappoint the chat, but it's never going to happen. And I, therefore, am going to miss out on this potential to make money from it, right? Like, that's just the bottom line. It may seem ridiculous to you, but if she's comfortable doing it and she's having a good time, she's making money. Like, I hate to bring up OnlyFans, but like, I think OnlyFans is terrible. Bad idea. But on the other hand, the reason some people make money off of it is because they're willing to do it. Should they be willing to? Maybe not, but they are making money.
I mean, that's always like that. Whenever we have those discussions, it becomes about the morality of it. And for me, the morality of it isn't really my concern because I'm not that person. That's up to them. I can disagree with what you're doing, but I can also say look,
it's
you're
like
allowed to
when
do that
I
if
get
you wanna
annoyed
do it.
about the million sequel movies and you look at me and say, but they make money, right? So like
exactly.
people are going to do the things that make them money. And we can talk about morality, but on the other hand, undeniable fact, this girl with her bringing her mom to LA, like she likes her job and she's making money on it.
And she's also, but she's another one of those people, right? Like you watch her videos and you follow her stories, and she's kind and likable and engaging and posts all sorts of stuff. Like, and the reason I brought her up is like now she's going to all the movie premieres.
Yeah.
She's going to all of these. Like she's like at the Creed movie premiere. I'm like, what does she have to do with the Creed movie?
The influencer class then gave Hollywood other ways to invite people to invite to premieres. Like in some ways it makes them less exclusive, but in other ways it gives them more exposure.
Yep. In a lot of ways, Hollywood needs the influencers more than the influencers need. Like whenever the influencers go to these Hollywood premieres, I'm like, that YouTuber gets hundreds of thousands, if not millions of more views, gets millions of more views than most of these celebrities would if they were making their own content. Will Smith's channel does all right, I guess.
But it's not as big as just someone who is a YouTuber.
Well, I pointed out earlier, I said, did you know that the Disney channel on YouTube, like Disney's company channel, where that Little Mermaid trailer has 8 million less subscribers than Moist Critical?
That's hilarious, but also not entirely impossible. Like that makes total sense to me.
And he's just a dude. He's just a dude.
that people want to listen to.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.